It was a quiet Sunday morning when Judge Michael Carter brewed his coffee and stepped into the garden, unaware that his peaceful life was about to shatter. His two kids, Lily and Max, were playing near the porch, their laughter filling the air. But within minutes, that laughter vanished. The swing was empty. Their toys were scattered. And there, on the front door, was a chilling letter signed only HOA. At first, Michael thought it was some sick prank by the neighborhood committee that had always clashed with him. But the second page made his hands tremble. A photo of Lily and Max tied up, terrified, and blindfolded. The note was clear. Resign your position and sign over your property, or you'll never see your children again. Michael dropped the letter, his mind spinning. But what the HOA didn't know was that Michael Carter wasn't just any homeowner. He was a federal judge with the power to bring their entire empire crashing down. Michael's heart raced, but his face stayed calm. Years in the courtroom had taught him one thing: panic never wins battles. He carefully folded the note, hiding it in his coat pocket before anyone in the neighborhood could see. To the world, he appeared composed, sipping his coffee as if nothing had happened. Inside, though, a storm was brewing. Instead of calling the local police, Michael reached for a secure phone, the one only a few federal contacts knew existed. He spoke in short, sharp sentences, his voice low and steady. Code red, my kids, taken, HOA involved. Minutes later, he scanned the cul-de-sac, observing every neighbor. The friendly waves, the forced smiles, who among them was hiding the darkest secret. He noticed the new HOA president's house lights were on at an unusual hour. His gut tightened. Michael knew one thing. This wasn't just about property disputes anymore. This was war. And the HOA had just kidnapped the wrong man's children. By afternoon, the quiet suburban street felt like a battlefield. Michael sat in his study, the blinds half closed, scanning the HOA's digital footprint. His federal clearance gave him access no ordinary man could dream of. Private emails, hidden financial trails, and security camera feeds from across the neighborhood. Every click revealed a darker truth. The HOA wasn't just a neighborhood committee, it was a front for something bigger. Land deals, blackmail, and now, kidnapping. Then he saw it. A blurred image from a traffic cam 2 streets over. His son's blue backpack, being shoved into the back of a black van. The plates were fake, but the van belonged to someone he knew all too well. Rick Dalton, the HOA's vice president and the loudest voice against Michael during last month's board meeting. Michael's jaw tightened. He wasn't just searching for his children anymore. He was dismantling an empire, piece by piece. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, one thought burned in his mind. They wanted war. Now they'd get one. Night fell, but Michael didn't rest. Using a secure line, he contacted a trusted federal agent, special ops trained and sworn to secrecy. Within an hour, unmarked surveillance vans quietly lined the edges of the neighborhood, blending into the shadows. Meanwhile, Michael prepared his own move. He hacked into the HOA's private server, something only a man of his caliber could do. And what he found froze his blood. Spreadsheets with coded notes, meeting recordings, and a chilling folder labeled leverage. Inside were photos of other families, neighbors who had been threatened, bullied, or forced to sign over their properties. It wasn't just about his kids anymore. This was a criminal syndicate hiding behind manicured lawns and picket fences. At TID 3 a.m., Michael struck first. Using his federal power discreetly, he froze the HOA's offshore accounts, cutting off their financial lifeline. By morning, panic rippled through the board members. They didn't know how, but they knew someone had just declared war on them. And Michael? He just sipped his coffee, waiting for them to make their next desperate move. By sunrise, the neighborhood buzzed with tension. Michael noticed it immediately. The nervous glances, the hushed phone calls, the HOA president pacing her porch like a trapped animal. They had realized their money was gone, and desperation was setting in. Then came the message. A burner phone slipped into his mailbox, lit up with a single text. "Stop, or your kids don't see tomorrow." Michael's hand tightened around the phone, but his expression stayed unreadable. He knew this was their bluff, a move to regain control. What they didn't realize was that federal agents were already tracing the signal, triangulating its location to an abandoned property just outside town. By noon, the HOA tried to retaliate, again, staging a fake complaint raid on Michael's house to rattle him. But when their hired muscle arrived, they were met by plainclothes agents, quietly documenting every illegal move. The trap was closing, and the kidnappers didn't even know it. As night crept in, Michael whispered to himself, "Hold on, kids. Daddy's coming." The abandoned property was quiet, too quiet. Hidden in the woods, it looked like nothing more than a forgotten storage shed. But Michael knew better. Federal drones had already confirmed movement inside. 2 heat signatures, smaller, scared, his kids. Dressed in tactical gear, Michael moved with the precision of a man who had nothing left to lose. His team of agents surrounded the perimeter, silent as shadows. The plan was clear. No mistakes, no noise, no casualties. Then a muffled cry pierced the air. "Lily." Michael's heart clenched, but his focus sharpened. With a silent hand signal, the door was breached. Chaos erupted. 2 HOA enforcers scrambled, caught completely off guard. Within seconds, they were on the ground, handcuffed. And there, in the corner, huddled and trembling, were Lily and Max. Michael dropped his weapon and ran to them, pulling them into his arms. "It's over," he whispered, his voice cracking. "You're safe now." But as the agent secured the scene, Michael's eyes darkened. Saving his children was only the beginning. The HOA had taken everything too far, and now they would all pay. By dawn, the neighborhood was swarming with unmarked cars. One by one, every HOA board member was led away in handcuffs. Fraud, kidnapping, extortion, money laundering. Their perfect suburban empire had crumbled overnight. Neighbors peeked through curtains, stunned to see the people they'd trusted, the ones who threw block parties and organized bake sales, exposed as criminals. But Michael didn't stay to watch the spectacle. He sat on his porch, his kids beside him, a quiet strength in his eyes. The war was over, but the scars would remain. Days later, in a packed federal courtroom, Michael delivered the final blow. Evidence, recordings, financial trails, everything laid bare. The judge in him had always believed in justice, but now it was personal. The HOA members were sentenced to decades in prison. As reporters swarmed him for comments, Michael simply said, "No one threatens my family. Not in my house. Not in my country." And as he walked away, holding Lily and Max's hands, the quiet street finally felt safe again. Because the man they had underestimated had reminded them all. Justice always wins.